Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, retired Officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Thanks for having me.
And we are joined by two guests in studio today. We have one returning guest. We've got Detective Karla Vazquez.
What's up?
And also joining us in studio, we've got former Officer Josh Cordell.
Yes, sir.
So welcome, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Outstanding. Wow, that's very optimistic. Everybody's doing so great.
Yeah. You want me to tell you I feel like shit today?
Right.
No, keep that to yourself. Okay.
Oh, my bunions.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get started here. I do want to start off with something, not as funny. On Offbeat, we're here to tell the light side of law enforcement. We bring guests in studio to share their funny on-the-job stories as officers. But today, I kind of want to start out a little bit different. Unfortunately, Fort Worth Police Department lost a hero. That hero, Sergeant Billy Randolph, unfortunately lost his life on August 12th in the early morning hours. And it hits us heavy in our hearts because as law enforcement, as first responders, we're family. And it affects everybody. And we just want to say we want to send our condolences out to Sergeant Randolph's family, his friends, and his department. Curtis, you are a detective with the Fort Worth Police Department. We are sorry for that loss.
We appreciate it. It was pretty devastating.
And I will say, Offbeat, we are part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. That being said, the Treehouse Podcast Network, along with the RMS, the Russ Martin Listeners Foundation, raises funds. And they raise funds through the foundation and by receiving donations. And what those funds are used for is they issue a check to the surviving family members of our fallen officers and firefighters in the North Texas area. And just a great foundation. Now, obviously, money is nothing in one of these kind of situations, but can help at least alleviate some of those stresses in such a tragic time. So I did have the honor on Monday of actually delivering the check from the Listeners Foundation to the Fort Worth Police Department. And, it was an honor to do that. I hope that we don't have to hand out any other checks. But I will say that the foundation, thank you for what you do. Thank you for all the donors that donate to the foundation. And keep up the good work in regards to that, guys. But, okay, moving on. Karla.
Yes.
You were on episode 8.
Yes.
And
Has that been that long ago?
It was that long ago,
Yeah.
yes. But I still distinctly remember a balloon
Yes.
story that you had, yeah.
Yes. The Balloon Bandit, right?
Yeah.
Is what Curtis named it, I think.
Mhm.
Yep.
You almost had to take out a balloon.
Yeah. I think I still have PTSD over it.
Well, what? Maybe we should dive into this a little bit here. Since we're kind of going down this road, what color was the balloon?
It was like a fancy birthday balloon, the
Like the
shiny
Mylar,
ones.
the shiny ones,
Yep.
the Mylar,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, well,
They're the worst.
They're the worst.
They are.
They haunt you in your dreams.
The reason why I say that is because they can heat up in the sun and they can actually make like motion detectors go off. That's why I say they're the worst, because they can contain heat. And then
Gotcha.
when they're inside the house, they'll start moving around and all of a sudden you get an alarm. So that's why I say they're the worst. It's 100% true.
Fun fact.
A very educational show today.
Yes, very.
If you wanted to know about balloons, get with Curtis.
Right. I'm aficionado. I can't help it. Balloons just excite me.
Aficionado. That's a good word for clown, right?
Pretty much,
That
yeah.
Deals with
Yeah.
balloons a
Thanks
lot.
for
Gotcha.
stamp that one,
Fancy
didn't you? I
word.
was like, yeah, I'm good.
And Josh just took that exactly where I was going. It's like, wait, where's all this experience with balloons come from?
Well, it started with latex, but we're not going there this time.
Oh, wow. Okay, now, Karla, you're a detective with an agency in the North Texas area. And
Yes.
let's remind our listeners, how long have you been an officer?
11 years. Yes.
And you've worked for
I
more than one
started-
agency.
Yes, I started my policing career with Shreveport PD in Louisiana, and then I did 2 years there, and then we moved over to I say we because Josh is my husband, and we worked together in Shreveport. That's how we met, and then we moved over to the Dallas area.
Okay, so you just let our listeners in on something. You
Yeah.
said Josh is your husband.
He is, yes,
And Josh, actually, he was here during episode 8. He was just in the audience.
yeah, he was a hype man.
Oh, okay. He was here for support at that point in time.
Yes.
So I introduced you as Detective Karla Vazquez
Mm-hmm,
and Josh as Josh Cordell.
Yes.
Did you have a problem? Was he refusing to take on your last name when
I
y'all
didn't
got
come
married?
here to
or-
get attacked. Okay.
Okay.
She never asked me to take
Whoa,
it on.
whoa. I'm just wondering if he didn't cooperate when you told him he needed to change his last name to yours.
He said no, so I said no. So
Okay, well, first off, this is a no shift zone. Okay, no one's getting shanked today, so feel free to. Josh, I mean, he looks reserved. Right? He's scared to talk right now, I think, but we're good.
No. We're about to get
we'll get to him.
Josh. As a matter of fact, Josh, let's go to you right now. You're a former officer. How long were you an officer?
Right around 11 years total.
Okay, and what agency were you with?
I started with the Bossier Sheriff's Office in Louisiana, and then from there I moved to Shreveport Police Department, and then when Karla and I moved to Texas, I went to Carrollton Police Department.
Okay, very good. And you're no longer an officer.
Correct.
You left the profession, but still kind of connected. I mean, we won't mention
Adjacent.
Yeah, it kind of falls in line with the law enforcement first responder
Right.
community. What you're doing now. So, how long did you guys actually work together on the streets? And see, I'm glad
Well-
I said on the streets because I almost said in the sheets.
In
Yes.
the
Oh.
streets.
But yeah, ooh.
And we still work in the sheets.
We've done some work.
Hey,
in
Curtis,
both
how you doing down there, man?
areas.
I just hope it's a high thread count.
Yeah.
Jim Cotton. So you guys did work together, though?
Yeah.
streets.
We worked together in Shreveport, and then also another North Texas agency and my agency were close together. So there was occasionally we were able to eat on duty and see each other on calls from time to time. But I don't know, 3 years about, give or take.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys meet and start dating when you were working at the same agency?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, any good calls that you guys answered together during that time?
Yeah, there was a
Well,
few.
Well, my exorcism
Yeah.
story that I told on the previous podcast,
Yeah.
he was also there. I think I mentioned that.
You
during
did.
the-
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. He was on that call. But yeah, he has his own, and we shared some funny ones. But yeah.
Yeah, getting ready for this podcast, I was like, "Oh, what about the time?" She was like, "Yeah, no, you can't tell that." Oh, okay.
had to
What
put
about the no?
Statute
You had to
of
put it through
limitations.
censorship
You
first. Like,
can't tell
hey,
that. Yeah, I'm still in the career. You
let's check
can't-
the statute of limitations.
Yeah, for sure.
That term literally came up.
I know.
Yeah, we had some good calls. I mean, just one quick one. It was storming in Shreveport, and so some lights had gone out in an intersection. We were close, so we were directing traffic in the middle of the night, in the middle of Shreveport, and it was raining really hard.
Very. It was, you
Yeah.
couldn't see.
Yeah,
At all.
So we're there, and Karla says, "Hey, I've got to pee," and I said, "Well."
What do you
know,
want me to do about it?
Right? Yeah. Well, traffic's gone down a little bit. I can probably maintain this intersection by myself. I'll see you in 10 minutes or so. And she was like,
It was too dark, so no,
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave him by himself
Yeah.
because it was dark and you couldn't see.
yeah.
At
So,
all.
so she was thinking of me and said, "You know what? I think I'm just going to go right here." And I was like, "No, you're not. We're like in uniform. We're
Wait.
currently working."
You guys are directing traffic.
Yes.
You're in an intersection.
Yes.
And she's going to Karla. You're going to be right there.
I was already soaking wet, so what was the point? And we were so close to shift change, like somebody was gonna relieve us, And we were
really
leaving.
relieve us.
Yeah, certainly.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but Josh, were you guys married at this time?
No.
Did you find this attractive?
I mean, I find everything she does attractive. So, so yeah.
I'm still wondering if she already did it. She just brought it up to bring it up to him. Like she'd already peed her pants at that point. And he heard, I have to pee. And she said, I had to pee.
This, that's very possible.
It was a test.
It was a test. Yeah. Are you going to judge me if I pee in this intersection right now?
Families that pee together stay
Stay
together.
together.
Well, we definitely peed together, and we're still together. So there's some truth to that.
Wait a minute. You said you peed together?
Together, yeah. We were like, okay, well, I'll go if you go. And she said, well, I'm going right now. I was like, well, okay, I'll go right now too. So there we were in the middle of Shreveport, peeing in the rain in the intersection directing traffic.
That is so sweet. You guys peed together.
Yeah, we did.
The middle of the roadway.
Middle of the roadway.
That's a lot of mental stuff to come over. It doesn't just happen. You have to think about it hard to actually do it. So, not that I've ever done it, but I've heard.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I just go.
It's like, dispatch, we don't need relief anymore.
Now,
We are good.
Karla was like 22 at the time, so I think she dropped it, was like, YOLO.
Mark it off the bucket list. We didn't need a bucket, though.
So as a couple, you guys have urinated together in the middle of an intersection.
Yep.
You've performed an exorcism on a call together.
Yep.
Anything else on these calls y'all done together?
Man, we have, but that was, a lot of that, again, was on the list, right? That got filtered out. So,
You don't wait to talk to me on break. Did you bring the list with you? Just
yeah.
He took notes.
I did. I have.
He's prepared.
It's hard. I was excited after watching the first one. I was like, yes. Stories just kept ding.
Oh, yeah, they start
ding,
pulling.
Ding.
absolutely. So, you mentioned golden showers.
I did.
Well, while we're on the topic of
Golden showers. Yeah.
Disclaimer,
Disclaimer.
has nothing to do with me.
It does not have anything to
Correct.
do with you. And I did clear this with the other officer that was involved prior to coming on. So
okay, let me ask you this: is it worse that it doesn't have anything to do with her?
no.
Does it have anything to do with you?
Yeah.
See,
absolutely.
As long as I'm not involved, because I'm not that type of chick. So
You know what, Karla? I'm not that type of chick either.
no offense to the ones that
She'll
are,
draw the
but
line on peeing on herself,
Yeah.
but you can't pee on me.
correct.
Yeah.
That's the line.
That would be the last thing you ever do.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, let us have this.
Yeah. I mean,
let's have it.
Yeah. I mean, I call this story the golden showers in the SIG because it helps me remember what it is. But the other officer that was involved, his name is Golden. And so that was his nickname that stuck, Golden Showers. SIG was his sidearm that we were issued at the time. So anyway, this was early in our career. We used to carpool to the academy. And so this was my week to drive. He would come to my house, set all his stuff on my truck, come in, we'd get together or get my stuff. We'd get in the truck, we'd go to the academy. So there we are pulling up to the academy and doing our quick check, and he realizes that he does not have his SIG anymore.
He left it. Yep.
And I said, well, what did you do? And he was like, the last time I remember seeing it is I set it on the back of your truck when I got to your house. Yeah.
Referring to his firearm.
His firearm, yes. Yeah, his Sig Sauer. So anyway, I said, well, dude, I'm not going with you, but you can have my truck. And the penalty for being a minute late at the academy was 1 additional mile. Now, the thing was, we only had about a week left of the academy. So he runs all the way across town, gets to my house, and he found the SIG. He just didn't find it in the driveway. He found it out in the street with all of his ammunition scattered everywhere. His mags were destroyed. The SIG actually held up pretty well. He gets the gun, collects as much as he can, drives back. He gets back to the academy. He's only 9 minutes late, but he had to finish it that week or we couldn't graduate the academy. So since I felt like I was contributing to this, since I was the one that ran it over or backed up and it fell off and didn't help him notice it, that's what buddies do, right? So I ran those 9 miles with him that week, in addition to all the other PT and things that we had to do. So
An additional 9 miles.
Yes.
So a mile for every minute you're late.
A mile for every minute we're late. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what's an extra 9 mile
Yeah.
run?
Yeah. And he got a new SIG out of it, you know. I mean, that one was only a few months old, but
Brand new gun. Ran over.
yeah, brand new.
Did he have to fess up to what had happened?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how do you explain, you know, oh, it looks like an alligator ate it, you know. I mean, it was Louisiana, but yeah, he had to fess up and
I would have gone with the gator. It's
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Better story.
true. And well, you know, at that point of the academy, I think we were still wearing red guns. So he didn't tell the academy staff until the next day. He called the sergeant on the way from our department and was like, "Hey, this is what happened. You know, you're never going to believe it, but this is what happened." So
Yeah, that's
That I mean, it's almost as bad a feeling when you go somewhere and you reach to your holster and your gun's not in it, and you realize
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you took it out in the car or whatever. But
Oh, yeah.
that pit of your stomach just
Oh,
drops.
yeah.
You're like, "Where's my gun?" So
Yeah.
I can only imagine when you got there and it's not even in the car.
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, we've all left them locked up in the jail. You know what I mean? Like, there's been those scenarios. I think that's happened to every one of us, but his was in the street. So
I think my first time was I used to put all my stuff in the trunk. And
Yeah.
the very first time I left the jail and I turned, it was like, clunk, 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 and then something hit the trunk. I was like, "What the heck was that?" Boom, threw it in park. You know, I was like, "Oh my
Oh
gosh,"
my God.
because no one wants to be that guy on the call. You know, you get out there like, "You're gonna respect my authority," and you ain't got
Right.
a gun on you.
right.
Where is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never mind. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
Hey, officer, where's your gun? Oh, I don't need one.
Yeah, I'm so bad. It's like, then why you wear a holster? That holds my French fries.
Yeah.
it's required. I have to have my holster.
Yeah.
I don't need a gun. I've got officer presence.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
just so overpowering. Yeah, you will submit to my authority. Yes.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. Any other calls you both went on together?
I mean, there were several, you know, in Shreveport. There was the one time. Oh, this was probably my favorite day. So, Shreveport, we were pretty limited on cars, right? And so, depending on when your shift started, it was what car you got, unless you were a senior officer, and then you had cars assigned to you, things like that. So, anyway, one day, Karla and I get the opportunity to ride together. And the car that we had rode in the previous week was down for service, which is also a story I can't share today.
Is there also a part of this story where you guys are riding in the car together and then y'all made? Never mind.
Never.
I was thinking,
Never.
no,
I can
no,
say that never
no.
happened.
No, it's not because it wasn't suggested. I'll say that. But
really?
but either way, we get this old car.
1980s.
Yeah, I mean it
Like-
was old school first year model Crown
Yes.
Vic.
The bulbs physically rotate on the wee-woos.
Nice. Got
Yeah.
some rotators.
Like,
going on.
yes.
Get some swivel
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No cameras.
No cameras, no
all.
body cams, and so we were working, you know, traffic in a neighborhood, high crime neighborhood, and this lady decided she did not want to stop until she got to her driveway, you know. So anyway, and then we get out of the car, stopped her from going in the house, and she told me all the things that I cannot do.
Yeah. She thought she was safe. It's
She-
not baseball, but
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
thought it
Yeah.
was.
Dag.
I made it home. Don't mess with me.
Yeah, made it
Doesn't
home
work that
plate.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Needless to say, she was educated with some tickets and some attitude adjustment therapy, but yeah, that was a good day.
It was fun because there was no documentation, like real documentation. Other than the citation she received.
we-
But yeah.
Yeah, we handled it.
Yeah.
It was all good. We
Yeah.
don't need all these cameras and
No.
radios and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, very good, guys. Tell you what, let's take a break. But before we do that, if you have not been to our website, check it out, offbeatcopshow.com. And if you are an officer and you have a funny story you want to come on the show and share with our listeners, then send us an email at offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Guys, we'll be back to more Offbeat in just a minute. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here.
And joining us in studio, we've got Detective Karla Vazquez.
What up?
And we've got Josh Cordell.
Hello.
Now joining us remotely for this segment, we've got Treehouse Podcast Network President Dan O'Malley.
Hello, hello. Or I'm sorry, what was it the way I did it last time? Hey. So I had to put some sparkle on it or something.
There's a sparkle.
Yeah, throwing that extra sparkle. We like that.
And just
Hey,
just for the sake of balance, hey, there.
What's up, bro?
All right, guys. This segment is sponsored by Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. All right. Now, Karla and Josh, how long have you guys been married?
Married 6.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're both mathing over here. I can see her.
I'm like,
Together?
together 10, almost 11.
I'd say
10-ish?
11 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You
Give
want
or
to make
take.
sure it's going to stick before you put a ring on it, huh?
Yeah. You know.
Wow, Curtis.
Hey, got to call it.
Now, and notice, Josh, I threw you a bone on that one because I said, how long have y'all been married? I wasn't going to just single you out on that one.
Right.
I didn't want to set you up for failure, sir.
His other wife probably took his last name. Just not me.
And you know, one
She didn't
one
take his
worked and
name,
one
but-
didn't. You know, so
There you go.
That kind of lends it back to the fact that you're like, yeah, no, dude, I ain't taking your last name. You can have mine, or hey, we're good.
Well, some of my paperwork does say Cordell, but for the most part, and especially at work, I use Vasquez. So,
Well, guys, again, in the law enforcement and first responder community, it's all about family.
right.
You guys are the first married couple that has come on Offbeat.
oh, that's awesome.
That is very brave of you.
Yeah.
Kind of hurtful. I thought we were closer than that, Steve. I mean,
No.
Wow.
oh, okay. I read the room wrong.
Wow, Curtis, I never knew you had those kind of feelings.
Well, they're coming.
Curtis, sometimes it's a compliment to be the side piece.
Okay, I'm good with that.
You get all the fun, you get all the romance, and none of the headaches.
I'm feeling way better now. Thank you.
You
It
get
really
the extravagant trips, and you get to wear the thong on the beach.
Yeah, but I don't get the tax break. So
Well, it's a give and take.
Mental picture. Thanks.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one imagining that thong on the beach.
Wow. No, Curtis and the thong on the beach?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
that's why
I
y'all
can't wait to
smiled.
type that into my artificial intelligence image generator.
Well, guys, like I said, it's awesome to have you guys here, that you guys are married. And on the show, we want to do something special for you guys.
I don't know how I feel about
Feels
that.
like a setup we did not know about.
What?
Yeah.
We would never do that.
Right.
Yeah, we would never tell you.
But Curtis, are you ready down there?
I'm ready here.
Go ahead, Curtis.
I think I'm more nervous now than I was on the wedding day.
All right, we're good. Okay. Something I failed to mention to you guys. Dan joining us here remotely is the official minister of the Treehouse Podcast Network.
Ordained and everything.
Yeah,
Are we getting married again?
he's official.
Sure.
Well, I'm glad he said yes.
Why not? Well, I mean, I asked you the first time. It's
If you
only
want to
fair you
negotiate
ask
a
me
different
this time.
contract, now would be the time.
There's some terms that I need to
Obey my
revisit.
ass.
We moved really quickly here on the show. We just had the proposal, the
Yes.
acceptance, and now we're going to go ahead and go on with the ceremony. Dan, take it away.
Let's make this official. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in this studio to renew the vows of Josh and Karla. I understand you've both written your own vows.
Yes. Josh, here's your vow. If you
Oh
share that with us.
no!
I'm so glad that you had these.
What is happening?
Oh, you know it.
Are we ready for me to read these now?
Yes.
Okay, nobody
please.
asked me if I knew how to read.
Look into
by
her
the way.
eyes, though. Look into her eyes.
Gotcha. Karla, I love you, and I promise that I will continue to always support you through the sickness and health, night shift, overtime, and the sound of Velcro.
So beautiful. How can I say no to that?
Karla, your vows.
Josh, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
No, that's so sweet.
That really is beautiful.
It really is.
Curtis, do you have the police rings, also known as handcuffs?
Here we go. Here you are.
There's no
Karla,
one to
if
hold
you Karla, if you would, please place one of those cuffs around Josh's wrist.
Sorry, we couldn't find the fuzzy ones.
And now, if you would, Josh, take the other ring/cuff and place that on Karla's wrist.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, normally this goes the other way around.
How you two consummate this is entirely up to you.
I was hoping we would not do it here. Thank you.
Or perhaps some OnlyFans subscribers, if given the option. Well, now that the two of you are joined in unholy matrimony, and by the power vested in me, not only by the state of Texas, the United States Virgin Islands, and the Universal Life Church of Modesto, California, circa 2002,
Amen.
I am happy to pronounce you still husband and wife. Josh, you may kiss your officer.
God, I hope she shaved. You shaved your legs, right?
God, I love it. It's our
So who
first
has
first wedding ceremony on the
Wow.
show.
who
Sorry,
has the handcuff key?
Oh,
I'm retired. I don't have handcuff keys anymore.
That's fine.
maybe we should. No, you said forever.
Yeah, that's true.
I do cry at weddings.
I
I'm
wipe
sorry.
with this hand, though. You know, I mean, that would be.
Well,
Need a key.
families that pee together stay
Stay
together.
together.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Don't.
Sorry.
You know there's not locked.
I know. Anyways, moving on.
Well, do you guys have anything you would like to say to the audience?
Help.
I have a number of questions for the married officers. I don't know how much you covered already, though.
Go
Oh
ahead.
no,
go
by
ahead.
all means.
Is this the first time you two have been cuffed together?
To each other, yes.
Okay.
Whoa,
Okay.
that's even worse.
What?
Whoa, wait a minute.
Dude,
I wish the
brother,
listeners
yes.
could have seen Karla's face. She was like, "Should I
was-
tell this?"
I was running through a list.
She's
of
like-
times.
They were fuzzy.
This would be a
I
good
was
time to plug
thinking-
the YouTube channel. Mhm.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
man.
training scenarios, you know, things like
Yeah.
that.
I was
If it makes you
not.
feel better to call him that.
Speaking of that, when the two of you play cops and robbers, is it a totally different experience than we all had as kids?
Maybe that's a conversation for a different platform.
Fair enough.
I mean, we
Wow, wow.
typically go Cowboys and Indians, but, you know.
He didn't ask for your shooting blanks, man.
Oh man.
All right.
Well, I was happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful.
We-
Thank you all
And
for
I
coming.
I do cry at most weddings. I'm gonna try to hold it on this one. So.
We appreciate the ceremony. Definitely.
Mhm.
Our
But you're
first
I would
still
like
one
to
was
point out, I think I oversaw in the neighborhood of 30 weddings over the last calendar year. And I must say, Curtis, you are by far one of the most talented DJs I have seen.
Oh, thank you. He didn't see the rest of them. They were all on podcasts.
right.
So.
Gotcha.
Well,
But I do take the compliment.
there's so much preparation went into making this happen today, guys. I've never been a wedding planner before, and especially with only having half an hour to prepare for a wedding. I think we pulled it off.
Oh, I think we did. Yes.
Yeah.
Who bought
This,
that? We didn't bring confetti though. That's why we go done.
I thought about it, but didn't want to get the studio all messy. So
This was a step up from our Vegas wedding, definitely. So we
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
And my mom's going to be super excited that she didn't get to come to our second wedding. So,
ooh.
Love you, Mom.
We necessarily we didn't put a save the date out there as a problem.
So let's get back to some of the stories. That you guys have any other calls you've been on together besides urinating in the intersection together? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's romantic and all, but
I would like to point out that having just joined this conversation, I don't want anyone to clarify that at all.
Well, I mean, we had several calls. We had a lot of calls, together. But are they funny? Are they legal? Can we talk about it?
Have you guys ever responded to a call for disturbance and it's a fight, between couples, and then the two of you look at each other and go, "Man, we got it pretty good."
Every time we went to a house in Shreveport, that was definitely the thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that in and of itself, even just if she worked one or I worked one, different department, same department, whatever, it's just always such a relief when you come from a home full of turmoil like that, and you can look at your spouse and that they understand what you just left, and just say, I'm so glad we're not like that, that we don't have those kind of problems, or emotions or things.
I'm starting to think our whole wedding ceremony kind of put the damper on their funny, because now they're all being serious. We're looking for funny, and you guys are over there in love and little birds flying around.
Well, we
and
just got married.
Doves.
Yeah, they're newlyweds, man.
Newlyweds, yeah.
Yeah, they're in their second honeymoon stage.
But
digging through my notes to see if anything else is hidden.
no, I was gonna kind of springboard off of one of his stories, since we're in the lovey-dovey mood.
Yeah.
You can probably tell what is he gonna do? Arrest us? Story?
Oh, that's wow. I like that transition. So,
See, I am smart.
and beautiful.
Oh,
Good move. Good
Stop
move.
it. Move on.
You're just not a better shot than me.
Whatever.
So anyway, there I was. It's a Sunday afternoon. I was working for the sheriff's office, so we were pretty limited on officers that would be out. A call of a disturbance came out, so I'm on my way, and the dispatch calls the experienced officer, or more experienced officer, and kind of gives him a rundown of what's going on. So it was an indecent exposure disturbance, and that's all I knew. Again, young officer, I couldn't put two and two together until I arrived, and I found two and two together. So anyway, so I come around the corner of the building, and it's a pretty major highway in Bossier, and the sun is still out, and I find a couple not in the vehicle, but, well, not all completely in the vehicle, but sort of out. And so as they were doing their business, much like newlyweds do, come to find out that the woman had gone to get him to sign the divorce papers, and he talked her into one last ride. One last ride. So, go ahead. Yeah, questions?
yeah. How do you go from here, I'm going to serve you the paperwork, to here, I'm going to serve you?
Served.
Yeah.
Served up.
I don't know.
Serve this.
Yeah. I should have spent more time and asked him that question, I mean, I just assumed, hey, you're a smooth criminal.
Yeah. and they're okay. So they're in the car. I mean, are they like, you said they're hanging out. Is the door open and they're just?
I mean, yeah, sure. She was. Her back was on the passenger seat, and he was not in the car. I don't know. I would maybe give better descriptors, or let's just say he was holding up the field goal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And so pants were on ankles. So, I saw him completely. And so I come around, right? And I'm not like lights and siren or anything. I just pull up. I was kind of surprised, if I'm being honest. And so I get out of the car and I yelled at him like, hey, and nothing. So I slammed the door. Nothing. Right? So I'm like, wow. I mean, he was focused
Into it.
for sure. So I go up and I tap the car with my nightstick, And that got his attention. So she almost fell out of the car when I scared him. And about that time, you know, he's putting himself together. She's putting herself together. My backup shows up. And anyway, like I said, Sunday, sun was still out. They were in a public parking lot. So I decided to go ahead and arrest them. And again, sheriff's office, we're pretty limited on officers that are out. So, hey, there's 2 seats in the back. Might as well take them together. So I'm taking them to the jail, which was about a 35-minute drive. And he had been drinking. I think she had been drinking as well. And, you know, she was really embarrassed. And I felt bad for her. But he had a great sense of humor about this whole scenario. So as we're riding down the road, he's saying, hey, my pants are still kind of unzipped. Why don't you finish me off? And she says, whatever your name is. No, I can't. I cannot do that. We're in the back of a police car. And he says, yeah. What is he going to do?
Take us to jail?
Take us to jail? And it was so good. And his delivery was just perfect. I started dying
You lost
laughing.
it, yeah.
I couldn't help it. I mean, I even gave him props. I was like, dude, that's pretty good. Like, I mean, what am I?
I mean,
gonna
what's
do?
the worst that can happen here?
But
You're
she
right. That
wouldn't
is
commit,
one
and
smooth
I'm
criminal.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't, but yeah, it would have been a much different
wasn't.
story. But either way, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of ruined his day there. But
Yeah.
that's exactly where the next question was coming from. Well, so did she?
No,
No.
she didn't. I'm glad
God.
she didn't. I'd seen enough.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that poor man was engorged with not only blood, but disappointment.
Yes.
And then he went to jail half cocked too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that helps you, any poor guy.
Oh my God.
Attaboy, Curtis. I'm proud of you.
And during the field goal thing, you're doing this, and I
Yeah.
forgot y'all were cuffed. I'm trying to figure out why Karla's doing this with her hand. She's flopped. I was like, is she trying to cut him off? And I was like, I realized they had that cuff on his.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Can I ask a citizen question here? Because this is definitely not rooted in any police experience, nor should it ever. But as the responding police officer in that scenario, where the guy's standing outside the vehicle and the soon-to-be ex-wife is engaged with him, instead of saying something, did the thought ever cross your mind to go up behind him and then just tase him really quickly just to see what would happen?
Not then, no. But man, could you imagine the explosion if I did?
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
More than one. Yeah.
Close.
See,
Like what?
that right there, among a number of other reasons, is a great example as to why I could never be a police officer.
Oh, 100%. It's like, well, there's still a spark there. Up,
Yeah.
up. So,
Yeah. Oh man.
Wait, probably he's getting served with divorce papers.
Yeah.
And then they're out there doing their thing in a car, and then going
Yeah.
to jail together, and he's still looking for that opportunity.
Yeah. And, you know, I'd never thought about it till now, but part of those divorce proceedings, the judge asks, you know, have you guys, you know, tried to work things out? Have you rekindled any love or, you know, and then, here's our public arrest right here. And
Well,
I tried my damnedest,
They
Judge.
tried it.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
trying
he
to
tried, but-
rekindle it. And
Yeah.
you showed
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah. You know,
Well, you showed up to put the fire out, man.
right. Well, you know, maybe I saved him a surprise baby. I don't know, you know.
I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe save their marriage. To
Maybe.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
do we even know if the paper was already signed or they were still waiting to
I
sign?
don't know. I think maybe he was just, I don't remember, but, you know,
Trying.
yeah, before I sign this, you know, let me get one more little.
one last rodeo.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. All right, guys. We're going to take another break here. Again, if you have not been to the website, check it out. Offbeatcopshow.com. Check us out on social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're back. Back to more Offbeat. the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired Officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here, guys.
Joining us in studio, we've got Detective Karla Vazquez,
What up?
and we've got former Officer Josh Cordell.
Yes.
The two lovebirds here just renewed your vows on the
Yes,
show.
we did.
Outstanding.
So beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful day here on the show. Now, joining us remotely, we've got Treehouse Podcast Network President Dan O'Malley.
I did drugs last night.
Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was this not the interrogation part of the show? Okay.
Oh, did you stay at Holiday Inn Express?
Hey, I'm retired. You guys going to react to that? I mean, that's
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't have that jurisdiction.
Yeah, you're in Seattle. Too far.
And I did want to apologize to Josh. I did not have a chance to offer your prenup before we renewed the vows. I was going to do that, and it just happened so quick.
Too late.
So,
Well, we've made it this far without one, so I think we'll be all right.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
going to take your thousands.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
now.
That was generous. Thank you.
Now, you guys were both officers in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
There's some crazy stuff over there.
Yeah, certainly.
Karla, in episode 8, you shared an exorcism call you went on, and you guys were both on that one, correct?
We
Yes.
were. Yeah.
But as I understand it, Josh, that's not the only exorcism call you were involved with.
Yeah. So the one that Karla described in episode 8, I was experienced officer then, and I was experienced in exorcisms at that point. So I was able to offer some guidance. I had the foresight to download the app, to assist with the exorcism. But my first one went very differently, very, very differently. So this was, again, when I worked with the sheriff's office. Yeah, I think most of my funny stories are from when I am a young officer and just really didn't know anything about anything. So call comes out, it's a 911 hang up. 20, 30 minutes later, whenever me and the other deputy from opposite ends of the parish get to where we're going, we start knocking on doors. So it's out in the middle of nowhere, but there was about 5 or 6 trailers that were all on one piece of property that pretty much owned by one family, different groups of the family all lived in. So we're knocking on doors, and family doesn't want to talk to the police. We're looking for somebody, who called 911. How can we help? And after a few minutes of knocking on doors and seeing people peek through windows, we're trying to talk to them. Hey, somebody called 911. We need some help. And then we hear a distress call coming pretty close. There's a gal hollering for help. She comes out of the room or the woods. She's kind of roughed up, like she'd been running through the woods. She was in a dress to go out on the town. So then the good part starts, right? So by the time she makes it up to us and we make it to her, she falls on the ground. So we call for medics. The family that was talking to us through the door now sees her laying on the ground. So they come running out to give her some assistance. The girl starts shaking. And the aunt, I think it was, ends up saying, oh, she's got the devil in her or demon in her. I don't know how she came to that conclusion. So she decided
It's Louisiana.
that very moment she was going to perform an exorcism. So old girl's laying on the ground in convulsions. We've called medics. She looked safe to me. I mean, I've seen people have real seizures. It didn't quite look like that. Either way, the aunt yells at her husband, go in the house and get the oil. Not oil. Oil. Yeah. So he goes in, he gets the oil, comes out, and me and the other officer are standing there, and we're holding our flashlights because what else are we going to do? He comes out with vegetable oil, and she says, no, you got to get the extra virgin olive oil on the
How does olive oil become extra virgin? I've always wondered that myself.
I don't know. There's a lot of unknown answers to questions from this call. Either way, he comes back out with the correct oil. Now, other family members have joined, and we've basically created like a safe space circle around this poor girl so she can get exorcised. The aunt is on her knees. Now she's praying in tongues very loudly. I look at the other officer, and I'm still standing there, and he's about 5 feet back. He's giving him plenty of space. You know, he's kind of freaked him out a little bit. He's backed up. Now she's drinking the oil, or at least putting some in her mouth, and then spitting it out over the air. So this was definitely some Louisiana voodoo magic going on in this exorcism. I don't know, 2-3 minutes. A lot of unknown words were said. A lot of oil was spit into the air. Some hands were laid, and she just magically came back to consciousness and life, and was okay. Yeah, everything was fine.
So it worked.
It was successful.
It was a successful exorcism.
All right. Christ
Yeah.
be with you.
So the demon got exorcised from her, and then apparently it made its way over to her husband, who then, about the time she was saved, walked over. And the best part about this was he had a knot about the size of a golf ball on his forehead from this experience prior to us getting there. So,
Right.
yeah. But he ended up going with us. You know, he got a free ride. You know, we got him out of this situation, took him to the jailhouse. Priest.
So
you
Dad
know.
was possessed by the used spirit?
Yes.
Ain't nothing worse than a secondhand
Yeah.
spirit.
Apparently went between the two of them a few times.
Yeah. Can't afford your own. Can I borrow your spirit, please?
You gotta watch out. The spirits are very tricky. They just go from body to body.
Yeah.
Arresting a possessed man. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But it worked. The
It
exorcism
did work.
worked.
That's why I had so much faith going into the second exorcism with Karla. You know, I was like, well, I know it's going to work. I saw it once before.
I got
You know?
this.
I did also like the second one. Where he's like, when you told us, you're like, oh, yeah, download the app. I'm like, there's an app for this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you,
I know
Curtis.
there's
I had
apps
that.
for everything.
I had that written down to ask about the Exorcism app.
Yeah.
Like, is that a police only thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, you still double click on the side when you're ready to download, but I'll be like, this might be a trick.
Shady.
Yeah. It's kind of like when the apps ask, is it okay to track you across websites? It's like, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
you
that one
already
says,
are.
can we have a part of your soul, please?
So how many exorcisms have you witnessed, Josh?
That would be 2. Yes. 2. Those were both us.
I'd like to point out that I think that's 2 more than any of the rest of us.
100%.
Yeah.
I guess
So-
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Also,
yeah,
what do I
that's true.
search for in the App Store?
It's been some years, but I just looked up exorcism, and there was an app for that, and so I downloaded it.
It was an app and 3 games. So you had a choice there. It was like, oh, man, do I download the game? Shit.
I remember what it looked like, too. It was like an old parched paper, and it had like candlelight
Yes.
on it.
Yes, yes,
Pentagram.
It's got in-app purchases. In
Yes,
case you
it's like,
need to
just let you
step
know,
up.
you only get half the book. If you really want to know how to work it, you're going to have to buy
the premium.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Premium version.
Yeah, it's 2.1 souls.
Man.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for being here today.
Thank you
two,
for having us.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Sure, happy to help.
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate your skills, your ministry skills you have there. So outstanding. We might have to call upon you again for those.
I will
All right.
send you my Venmo information.
There's a remote charge also. You know, that's an upcharge as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good deal, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Again, if you're listening to the show and you're an officer and you want to come join us in studio, share your funny story with our listeners, then send us an email. That's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Check out the website, offbeatcopshow.com. Guys, until next time, stay safe and watch each other 6.